On the fateful night of April 26, 1986, at 1:23 a.m., a catastrophic event unfolded at the Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant in the Soviet Union. The reactor number 4 was at the center of a dangerous situation. The reactor's lid began to shake, sending shockwaves throughout the building. It became alarmingly clear to the workers on site that the nuclear reaction was spiraling out of control, and they needed to take immediate action to stop it. One courageous worker swiftly pressed the emergency shutdown button, hoping to insert control rods into the reactor and halt the nuclear reaction. However, this heroic act did not go as planned. Instead of stopping the reaction, massive explosion rocked the reactor, engulfing it in flames and releasing a substantial amount of radioactive material into the atmosphere. This disaster unleashed an amount of radiation equivalent to 400 Hiroshima atomic bombs, making it the worst nuclear catastrophe in history. The radioactive fallout extended beyond the borders of Ukraine, affecting regions across Europe, from Spain to Sweden. Even the United Kingdom experienced radioactive rain. The radioactive dust settled on grass, which was then consumed by cows. The resulting spike in radiation levels in the cow's milk led to thousands of children developing thyroid cancer. To understand why this disaster happened, one must know how nuclear reactors work. The Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant had 4 RBM-1000 reactors, each capable of producing 1,000 megawatts of electricity. The test being conducted was to determine if the turbines could generate enough electricity to power the water pumps in case of a power cut. The test was fraught with risk due to a design flaw in the RBM reactor. In this type of reactor, the control rods had graphite tips, which, when inserted during an emergency shutdown, caused an explosion due to their role as moderators. This led to an extreme power surge, causing the reactor to reach an unprecedented 33,000 megawatts of power, resulting in a series of explosions. Firefighters who arrived at the scene initially tried to extinguish the fire with water, not realizing the fire's origin in graphite. The fire raged for over 10 days before being controlled with the help of helicopters dropping clay, sand, boron, and lead. The immediate impact of the disaster included the deaths of 2 people, and the release of massive amounts of radioactive materials into the environment. More than 28 firefighters succumbed to radiation sickness within months, and others experienced long-term health problems. To prevent a potentially catastrophic third explosion, 3 divers had to enter a radioactive water tank and drain the water. These courageous divers risked their lives to prevent a disaster that could have been far more devastating. The aftermath of the Chernobyl disaster involved a large-scale cleanup operation, the evacuation of nearby residents, and the construction of the sarcophagus, a structure meant to contain the radioactive materials. The disaster's impact was felt globally, with radioactive fallout reaching Sweden and forcing the Soviet Union to acknowledge the incident publicly. The cost of the disaster was astronomical, both in terms of human lives and economic resources. It is believed to have played a role in the decline of the Soviet Union. Today, the Chernobyl exclusion zone is largely abandoned by humans, but it has become a unique refuge for wildlife. Wolves, deer, lynx, beavers, eagles, boars, and bears have thrived in the absence of human interference. While some animals exhibit radiation-induced deformities, the overall impact of radiation on wildlife has been relatively limited. The Chernobyl disaster remains a stark reminder of the potential consequences of nuclear power.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments section.